Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Hey, what's going on, family? This is Tyler from No Picks Podcast.
What's good, fam? Joe, No Picks Podcast.
Hey, I'm Teresa. This is my Garage Thoughts Podcast.
So we have a guest tonight, Teresa. Welcome. So happy to have you. Very excited to have you on the panel tonight. So, yeah, let's
Excited
get
to
to
be
it.
here.
All right, so check this out. Joe, Teresa. There was a controversial topic that popped up on my TikTok today, all right? So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play it, and I want some genuine reaction from both of y'all. Starting with you first, Teresa, then we'll go with Joe, then, we'll
All right, let's
go with me. All right. Let me see. I'm going to pull this up. All right, here we go.
And we have serious concerns about the physical and mental health effects of the current protocols promoted for the care of children and adolescents in the United States who express discomfort with their biological sex. This declaration was authored by the American College of Pediatricians, but really it was developed from the expertise of hundreds of doctors, researchers, and other healthcare workers and leaders who, for years, have been sounding the alarm on the harmful protocols that continue to be promoted by the medical organizations in the United States. Despite recent revelations from the leaked WPATH files and the recent release of the final report from the CAS review, these medical organizations have not changed course. We are calling on these medical organizations of the United States, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, the Endocrine Society, the Pediatric Endocrine Society, the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, and the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry to follow the science and their European colleagues and immediately stop the promotion of social affirmation, puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries for children and adolescents who experience distress over their biological sex. In our declaration, we affirm that sex is a dimorphic, innate trait defined in relation to an organism's biological role in reproduction, male and female. This genetic signature is present in every nucleated somatic cell in the body and is not altered by drugs or surgical interventions. Consideration of these innate differences is critical to the practice of good medicine and to the development of sound policy for children and adults alike. Medical decision-making should be based upon an individual's biological sex. It should respect biological reality and the dignity of the person by compassionately addressing the whole person. We are here defying the claims made by these medical organizations in the US that those of us who are concerned are a minority and that their protocols are consensus. They are not consensus, and we are speaking in a loud, unified voice, enough. And we have serious concerns about the physical and mental health effects of the current.
Okay.
No
So.
way,
God.
bruh.
Dang, you talked a lot, though.
Right. So this major American Pediatric Association came out against transitioning kids, right?
Right.
What do y'all think? Starting with you, Teresa. What do you think, Teresa?
Yeah, where you at, Teresa?
I mean, I feel like that's like a serious thing to like let children do. You know what I mean? Like they can't vote, you know, like they can't even like sign off for medical things, you know what I mean? Like, so like why would you let them literally like physically alter themselves permanently? You know what I mean? So like for children, yeah, 100%. That's wild. That's wild to me that this is like happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I don't know, but it's like it's none of my business, really.
Right.
You know.
Right.
What do you think,
no,
Joe?
that makes sense. I mean, I wasn't sure. I was waiting to see where Teresa was.
Right.
Let me see where she's at on this, because she could have been like,
Hey,
man,
don't filter yourself because of me. I'm good.
Oh, no, I was just
All right.
see where you're at. This won't be it's gonna be a good conversation. That's all I'm saying. Like, but no,
Oh, yeah.
so I agree. Of course, I'm gonna be careful with how I phrase what I'm saying or the kind of words that we use, because it's YouTube and we have to bow to the YouTube masters, otherwise we'll get canceled or demonetized. But I'm happy that a actual medical association, like for pediatrics, that specifically focuses on kids, have come together. They got some consensus, and now they have like, I don't know if it's a petition or just like a statement to be like, listen, we're against this, right? So we were talking recently about Peru. Peru recently declared that transgenderism is a mental illness. It's now classified as a mental illness in Peru. Other countries are treating it the same as well. So I don't know how common it is, but I know Peru just said that. We've talked about, gender dysmorphia and how it could be, we don't know if it's mental illness or gender dysmorphia. So off the bat, I'm happy that someone is speaking up. I do think that on some topics we can suffer from the tyranny of the majority. And I think that this is one of those situations where like you're in a minority if I feel like you speak out against it. Like she said, we're in a minority. So that's my first interaction, is that I actually support this. I'm happy that medical professionals are speaking out against this. And like Teresa said, you can't even vote, you can't legally drink, you can't legally provide consent for certain things. Your brain hasn't fully matured yet. It doesn't even happen until like you're 24 or 25. You're still going through puberty. All your hormones are still doing its thing. Like you haven't even reached, like, you haven't grown to your full
Right.
adult
I mean,
body
there's
yet.
people that are
Right.
like going into college and don't even know what they want to do with their lives.
Right. So
Yeah, now.
yeah, right. So off back, that's my initial response, Ty. Like I support this. So yeah. So where are you at with this? Like,
I mean, I think it takes a lot of balls for the Pediatric Medical Association, whatever the term was, right? To take the stance, because there's a lot of people like, listen, this chick might get canceled. Like, let's be honest. Like like there's a lot of people out there that may be like, listen, like they may not like what she had to say, and it took a lot of heart for her to kind of to say what she said. Although what she said makes logical sense. Yeah, of course. Like, listen, giving kids puberty blockers, like, listen, a lot of what Teresa said, like, kids they can't make certain decisions, at certain times. Like, Joe, you got kids. Teresa, I don't know if you have kids, right? But I have kids as well, right? If you give your kids, if you give your kids an opportunity, all right, how about this? When we were kids, because we're all around the same age, right? If we were kids, if you could not eat broccoli and eat fucking ice cream all day, wouldn't you choose to do that?
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like,
I mean, ice cream over broccoli. Yeah.
They're still learning. They're kind of dumb, Like they don't have like a lot of knowledge to make, important decisions.
right. So
Right.
my thing is, right now, the whole the LGBTQ trans, all that shit, that's like the popular cool thing to do right now. So of course a lot of kids are going to say, hey, yeah, I'm going to do this thing and transition and blah blah blah, like, and then maybe they'll regret it.
Yeah, I have a 12-year-old sister. She kind of hopped on that train as well. She goes by Moon now.
Right.
Which is kind of cool. Like, I wish I like grew up in the fucking age where I can just change my name. Like, that's so cool. I'm jealous of that.
Also, your sister is identifies.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if that's too personal.
I guess they them. Like they didn't really choose, but they like changed their name from Cheyenne to Moon. It's crazy, but it's like super cool. I don't know why.
I mean, having the name Moon is pretty cool, but
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of cool, man. Just all of a sudden, like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go by Blueberry now. Okay.
And someone could do that. They could definitely do that, and that would be okay. So.
Right.
That's so crazy. Yeah, and it's. So when I think about like kids going through this transitioning stuff and the hormone blockers. Oh wait, but the thing is, hold on. One part, she said social affirmation. Right. So she's saying we shouldn't even endorse kids requiring their classmates or their peers basically validating or affirming whatever their pronouns are. Like, we shouldn't even do that when they're young.
I mean, why would you? Honestly, it's like, do you remember when you were younger? Like, did you even really acknowledge the difference between girls and boys? You know what I mean? We're just kind of people.
Yeah.
We're kind of like all kids, you know? Either you don't like someone or you do. Like, that dude picked his nose all day. Like, I'm not friends with him.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, but that was interesting. She said not even social affirmation. Like we shouldn't even endorse that either. But no. So anyway, so I know we're talking about this, or this is we're reacting to this during Pride Month, right? So listen, we mean no offense to
Oh, I
our
didn't even
fam.
realize
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Pride Month, so that's why I'm just like, listen, y'all, have y'all month, have fun, be safe. But I don't support this. I mean, I'm sorry, I support the doctor, right? And I think that it's hard because think about the rates of not just like I can't say the word because some words you can't say, but deletion, the rates of people who become unhoused, the
Unhoused.
people who become unalive, unhoused people, unalive. Like there's so many just statistics, like negative statistics, that I'd be terrified for any child to have to be a part of that statistic. You know what I mean? Like that's what scares me too, because it's like that child has to go out into the world, has to go to school, has to go to wherever
Right.
they're going. They have to go and live that life and be subjected to everything that comes with that choice, right? So
Right.
I don't know. I support this. I really, really do. I think that you shouldn't be pushing on the kids. It's like, how do you think about those parents who say like, I'm not going to give my child a gender? So out of curiosity, like Teresa, like, would that be? What do you think about that parenting style where they're like, listen, even though my child was born, I have a son, but I'm not going to say he's my son. I'm not going to give him boy toys. I'm not going to. No, I'm just going to let him decide for himself. How do you feel about that kind of approach to like raising a child?
I mean, I feel like in like a general sense, like, everything's neutral colored, like neutral toys, not really like gender associated, but like not acknowledging once they become a certain age, like not acknowledging, like, oh, that's my son or that's my daughter. I feel like it might develop into a psychological disorder, like, you know, personality disorder, if you will, like a borderline personality disorder where they don't really have an identity and they struggle with like, I don't know who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Yeah, no, I agree too. I don't like parents who do that. I'm just like you're ruining that kid's life. That kid's gonna be socially awkward. Like you're making it so much harder for that kid to socialize with his peers. Off rip, that child is
Right.
going to be the outcast or the weird
But I
one.
mean, like if a little boy, like a 5-year-old is like, I want to paint my nails, like, okay, like don't make anything weird about it. Like, why does painting your nails have to do with being a gender? You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, he wants to wear a skirt to school. Okay, doesn't mean he's a girl or a boy. Just he wants to fucking wear that. He's cool. He
You would
wants
let your
to.
son you would let your son do that if you had a son, hypothetically. You would let your son just wear a skirt to school?
Yeah, do you, baby?
Yeah?
You're gonna have to live with the
Right.
consequences. Like, you're gonna get made fun of, bro. I just want you to
Right.
know that. But like, by all means, let your freak flag
I feel
fly.
you. I feel
You
you.
know?
Interesting. So
All right. So,
okay. All right. Go ahead, Tom.
um, let's do our final thoughts. All right. All right. What's your final thoughts on this, Teresa?
I mean, ultimately, when it comes down to children, yeah, I don't think that they should be like medically, like altered like that young because they can't make decisions. But like, also a lot of the indoctrination shit that's going on in life today, like in society and like on social media, is crazy. Like it's super like hyper focused on kids, and it's weird.
Mm.
It's really weird. So yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad, like you said, I'm glad like an actual like medical society is like
Right.
coming forth and like trying to do something about
What do you
it.
think, Joe?
Okay. My final thought, years ago, I think maybe like around 2010, 2011, I read a book that was introduced to us. I don't know if was it college? No, it was in a nonprofit organization I worked for, and we read it. It was called As Nature Made Him. I don't know if you guys have read it, but it was a story about a set of twins, and then there were two boys. One of the boys, there was an accident during his circumcision. They basically cut off his parts, his genitals. So rather than telling that child, they tried to raise that
Mm.
child as a girl. So twins, one was a boy, his parts got cut off because of some accident or malpractice at the hospital. So they tried to raise him as a girl. And hearing his story and how much confusion and pain and suffering he had to go through, how he struggled with this identity and feeling like he was just not who he didn't know he didn't know how to identify. He felt confused. Like to hear his experience and be like, see, this is what we're saying. Like this he was clearly born a boy, You guys tried to raise him as a girl, but he knew. Like he knew this whole time, like something's wrong here. Like I don't feel this way. And when he found out, he basically changed, and he had the surgery to get a whole. He did his parts and stuff like that. They made him a new one. Like it's a whole thing, right? But I don't know. After reading that, and then with a combination of like these doctors coming out and speaking out against this, I support it. I don't think I'm not with letting kids transition or doing the hormone blockers, or I don't agree that doctors can like do these things to kids without parents' consent. I think that's wrong. I think that the parents should always be like there to be like no, or to like at least have some kind of say in that decision. So I don't know. I support it, bro. I support the American College of Pediatrics. I'm with y'all. So far so good. I like
All
this.
right.
I support.
All right,
I
listen,
approve.
family. Let us know what y'all think in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Listen, if y'all want to have an argument, Joe's here to have the arguments. Like I said, I'm a sensitive type. I don't do that. So, listen. Thanks for joining us today, Teresa. Listen, we're gonna have to have her on a lot more. Until next time, y'all.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
All right, y'all.
All right.